hello everybody, this is Dr. Ritu Singh from Basic Science Department. So today if we talk about solid state, solids where the constituent particles and the constituent particles they include ions, atoms or molecules. So solid is a substance where the constituent particles they are present at their lattice site. So suppose if this is a solid, solid A, this is the arrangement. So where the A is present, these are the lattice site. So this is a perfectly ordered crystal or solid. So solid is a substance where the constituent particles they are present in at the lattice site, or the constituent particles they have got definite arrangement. Now any deviation from this definite arrangement of constituent particles lead to imperfection. So today's topic of discussion is imperfection in solids. So as the name imperfection, it arises when the constituent particles they are either missing from the crystal or they are not present at their lattice site, they are present at some other place, or impurity is present in the solid. So all these constitutes an imperfection in solids. So and basically we have three types of solids imperfections. First is electronic. Second is atomic or point defect, and third is impurity defect. So as the name electronic, it arises because of the change in temperature. Atomic or point, here an atom is missing from its position, or if it is not present at its position, it is present somewhere else inside the solid. Impurity defect, as the name suggests, some impurity is present inside the solid. Then atomic or point defect can further be divided into stoichiometric and non-stoichiometric defect. Stoichiometric and non-stoichiometric defect. Then stoichiometric is of two types, non-stoichiometric is of two types. Stoichiometric defect is of Schottky and Frankel defect, whereas non-stoichiometric are metal excess or metal deficiency. So this is a broad classification of imperfections. So we have got, basically we have three types of imperfections: electronic, atomic or point, and third is impurity defect. Electronic arises because of temperature. Atomic or point defect is an atom is missing from its lattice site, or it is not present at the lattice site but it is present somewhere else inside the crystal. And the impurity defect is some foreign atom is present into the host crystal, that is an impurity defect. And based on impurity defect we are going to have two types of solids: covalent solids and ionic solids, and also substitutional solids and interstitial solids. So this is a broad classification and we are going to take up one by one. Apart from this, we are having area defect, we have volume defect. Area defect when it is a three-dimensional defect, and volume defect when the defect is two-dimensional. So we are not going to go detail of area defect and volume defect. So the first type of defect which we are going to consider is electronic defect. Now at 0 Kelvin, all the constituent particles in the solid they are present at their lattice site. So the crystal is perfectly ordered crystal, or the arrangement of constituent particles is ordered. But if the temperature is increased, the electrons they gain kinetic energy and they move to higher energy state, leaving behind holes. So electrons are moving in one direction and holes they move in the other direction, and both of them they they are conductor of electricity. So in case of electronic defect, to a perfectly ordered crystal, if we provide energy, the electrons, they gain energy, they move from their lattice side, leaving behind holes, and electrons, they move in one direction, and holes, they are going to move in the opposite direction, and electrons and holes, they both conduct electricity. Now, the consequence of electronic defect is, after the electronic defect, the crystal structure starts behaving as a semiconductor. When the electrons are moving, that means it is going to behave as N type of semiconductor, and if we consider holes are moving, then it is going to behave as P type semiconductor. So after the electronic defect, a perfectly ordered crystal starts behaving as N type and P type semiconductor. So this is the consequence of electronic defect. Now next we consider atomic defect. Atomic or point defect. So in atomic or point defect, in a crystal structure, an atom is missing from its lattice site, or it is present at some other site, and apart from lattice site we have got voids, or we have got interstitial site. So atom, either it is missing from the crystal, or it is not present at the lattice site, but it is present at the interstitial site. That constitutes atomic defect. Now we have got two types of atomic defect, and the first one is stoichiometric defect, and the second is non-stoichiometric defect. The difference between stoichiometric and non-stoichiometric is, in case of a stoichiometric defect, the ratio of the cations and anions is same after the defect is same as described by the chemical formula. So if the chemical formula is CaCl2, the ratio is 1:2. So even after the defect, this ratio is not going to change. That is stoichiometric defect. In case of non-stoichiometric defect, the ratio of cations and anions after the defect is going to change. That is non-stoichiometric defect. So point defects, they are of two types, stoichiometric and non-stoichiometric. In a stoichiometric defect, the ratio remains same. The ratio of cation and anion after the defect also remains same, whereas in case of non-stoichiometric defect, the ratio is going to change. So we start with stoichiometric defect, and the stoichiometric defect are of two types. Stoichiometric defects. The first is Schottky and second is Frankel defect. So if I draw the two defect, I am taking these two ions. A is a cation, B is an anion. B negative, A positive, B negative, A positive. Then I take A positive, B negative, A positive, B negative. Then B negative, A positive, B negative, A positive. Now this is a perfectly ordered crystal. So stoichiometric defect means a cation is missing from its site and an anion is missing, and this is the vacancy which is created. This is a cation vacancy and this is anion vacancy. So this is the condition of Schottky defect. A cation and an anion, they are missing from their lattice site. If we see the Frankel defect, then A positive, B negative, A positive, B negative. Then we have B negative, A positive, B negative, A positive, A positive, B negative, A positive, B negative, and then B negative, A positive, B negative, A positive. Again, this is a perfect crystal, but what happens here, a cation is missing from its lattice site. So this is a cationic or cation vacancy is created here. But this cation is present at the interstitial site. So this is Frankel defect. Now what is happening? Schottky defect is given by the crystals which have got high coordination number, whereas Frankel defect is given by the crystal which is having low coordination number. Because a cation and anion is missing, so what happens or what is the condition here is that the size of cation and anions, they should be similar. Whereas in case of Frankel defect, a cation should be of a smaller size in comparison to the anion. Why? Because here the cation is present at the interstitial size. So if the size of cation is larger, it cannot accommodate into the interstitial site. So the difference between Schottky and Frankel is here cation and anion, they are missing from the lattice site. Here the cation is missing from its lattice site, but it is present at the interstitial site. It is given by substance or solids with high coordination number. This is given by solids with low coordination number. Here the size of cation and anion should be similar, whereas here the size of cation is much smaller in comparison to the size of anion. The reason is because cation has to be accommodated into the interstitial site. Now, the Schottky defect, the example is suppose NaCl crystal, KBr crystal, NaBr crystal. So all these crystals, they give Schottky defect. Frankel defect is given by halide crystals, or we can say silver halide crystal. So this is silver halide crystal, because here the size of cation and anion is different. Now we have got some consequences of Schottky and Frankel defect. The first consequence is whether we consider Schottky defect or Frankel defect, holes are created. And because of the creation of holes after the Schottky or Frankel defect or after the non-stoichiometric defect, the crystal is going to behave as p-type semiconductor. So because of the presence of holes, after non-stoichiometric defect, the crystal is going to behave as a p-type semiconductor. Second consequence is, in case of Schottky defect, because the cation and anion is missing, so the density of cation and anion is, or density of the crystal is going to decrease. So in case of Schottky defect, because cation and anion is missing, so the density of the Schottky defect of the crystal after the Schottky defect is going to decrease. But here density is not affected because cation is not present at the lattice site, but it is present at the interstitial site. Now another consequence which is applicable to Frankel defect is the two cations, they come close by, and because the two cations, they come close by, so the dielectric constant of the crystal is going to increase. That defect is that consequences of Frankel defect. And Schottky and Frankel defect, they are also known as thermodynamic defects. So this is in stoichiometric defect. Stoichiometric, where the ratio of cation and anion is going to remain same even after the defect. We have two types of stoichiometric defect, Schottky and Frankel. In case of Schottky, cation and anion is missing, whereas in case of Frankel, a cation is missing from its lattice site, but it is present at the interstitial site. And the consequences of this defect are, here the density is going to decrease. Both Schottky, after the Schottky and Frankel defect, the crystal is going to behave as a p-type semiconductor, and in case of Frankel defect, the dielectric constant of the crystal is going to decrease. The next we come to non-stoichiometric defect. Now in case of non-stoichiometric defect, the ratio of cations and anions in the crystal after the defect is going to change. That is not same as prescribed by the chemical formula. So that is non-stoichiometric defect. Then we have got two types of non-stoichiometric defect. First is metal excess and second is metal deficiency. So these are broad two non-stoichiometric type of defect. First is metal excess defect, second is metal deficiency defect. And non-stoichiometric defect is where the ratio of cations and anions even after the defect are going to, the ratio of cation and anion is going to change. Now the metal excess defect is again of two types. One is by anion vacancy and other is by extra cation in interstitial site. So these are the two types of metal excess defect. Metal excess by anion vacancy and second is by extra cation in interstitial site. And we have got one type of metal deficiency defect. Now to differentiate the three, the first we come to metal excess defect. So if I draw the crystal of metal excess defect, so the first one by anion vacancy. It is also known as F center. So if this is the crystal A plus B negative, A plus B negative, then B negative, A plus B negative, A plus, then A plus B negative, A plus B negative, then B negative, A plus B negative, A plus. And what happens here is an anion is missing from its lattice site and an electron is trapped here. This is F center. So in this type of defect, an anion is missing from its lattice site and at the place of anion we are having electron. Electron trapped in an anion vacancy forms F center. It is known as F center. The meaning of F is Farbe, and in German Farbe means color. So after this defect has taken place, or when the electron it gets trapped in the anion vacancy, the crystal becomes colored. Therefore it is also known as F center. The meaning of F is Farbe. In German Farbe means color. So what happens here is, for example, if we take up the crystal of NaCl and it is heated in excess of sodium vapors. So what happens is, if we are having this crystal, suppose the cations and anions, cation is sodium, anion is chlorine, and this crystal is heated in excess of sodium vapors. Now because the sodium vapors are in excess, so what happens is these sodium vapors, they will get accumulated on the top here. So here we get sodium ions, they get accumulated here. So what happens is the anions from the crystal, they move up on the upper surface, they react with sodium and sodium gets ionized. So when the chloride ions from the crystal, from the bulk of the crystal, they move to the surface and they lead to ionization of sodium. When the sodium gets ionized, the electrons are released. These electrons, they diffuse into the crystal and they get trapped in this anion vacancy. So this is how the trapping of electron takes place in the crystal. So the example for by the metal excess defect by anion vacancy is, So, in case of metal excess defect by anion vacancy, we take up the crystal of NaCl, we heat this crystal in the presence of excess of sodium vapors. So, because sodium vapors are in excess, it gets accumulated at the top. The anion from the bulk moves to the top or moves from the surface, reacts with sodium, and the sodium gets ionized. When the sodium gets ionized, the electrons are released, and these electrons, they diffuse and they are trapped in the anion vacancy. So, and after this trapping, the whole crystal becomes colored. So, this is one type of defect. The second type of metal excess defect is by or interstitial defect or by extra cation at interstitial site. This is also known as interstitial defect. So what happens in this crystal is A plus B negative, A plus B negative. This is a crystal. B negative, A plus B negative, A plus. Then we have A plus B negative, A plus B negative. Then B negative, A plus B negative, A plus. This is the perfectly ordered crystal. Now interstitial defect means an extra cation is present at the interstitial site. To maintain the electrical neutrality, an electron is present at the other interstitial site. Now one thing in the defects is very important. Irrespective of any kind of defect, the crystal should be electrically neutral. So whatever is the defect, there is no charge, or no charge is going to come over the crystal after any kind of defect. So here an extra cation is present at the interstitial site, and to maintain the electrical neutrality, an electron is also present at the interstitial site. So both cation and electron, they are present at interstitial site, so it is known as interstitial defect. The example of this is, suppose we take up the crystal of zinc oxide and we heat it. We get Zn plus 2 electrons, plus we get oxide ions. So we are not concerned with these oxide ions. So when it is heated, when the crystal of zinc oxide is heated, we get Zn plus 2 chloride ions plus oxide ions. Oxide ions, we are not going to take it into consideration. The zinc ions, it accommodates in the interstitial site, and electron also accommodates into the interstitial site. So this is by extra cation at the interstitial site, and this electron is present to maintain the electrical neutrality. This is interstitial defect. Now if we see both the metal excess defect, whether it is by anion vacancy or by this interstitial defect or by extra cation at interstitial site, in both the cases, in the crystal after the defect we are having electrons. In the first one, by anion vacancy, an electron was trapped in the interstitial at the lattice site of anion, and here the electron is present at the interstitial site. So after the defect has taken place, both the metal excess defect, they behave, the crystals which are having metal excess defect, they are going to behave as N-type semiconductor. So this is the consequence of metal excess defect, whether it is by anion vacancy or it is by extra cation in the interstitial site. The crystal after the metal excess defect is going to behave as a semiconductor, and the semiconductor is N-type. Why N-type? Because in both the cases after the defect we have got electrons. Now the second is by metal deficiency defect. Now if we consider metal deficiency defect, again we take up an arbitrary crystal which is AB, B negative, A plus, B negative, A plus. Then we have got A plus, B negative, A plus B negative, then B negative, A plus B negative, A plus. Now metal deficiency defect means one of the cation is missing from its lattice site. So a cationic vacancy is created, but the nearby cation changes its oxidation state from +1 to +2. This is done just to maintain the electrical neutrality, because irrespective of any kind of defect, the crystal should be electrically neutral. So a cation is missing from its lattice site, but the nearby cation changes its oxidation state from +1 to +2. The crystal after the metal deficiency defect is going to behave as a p-type semiconductor. Why it is going to behave as a p-type semiconductor? Because a hole is created. Now this type of defect, metal deficiency defect, is only given by transition metals. Why? Because only transition metals can have variable oxidation state. The representative elements, they are not going to have variable oxidation state. So this type of defect is only given by transition metals. For example, it can be given by iron, nickel. So if the crystal is of iron oxide or nickel oxide, this defect can be given. Why? Because it is only given by transition metals. Why it is given by transition metals? Because only in transition metals, the metals can change or they can exist in variable oxidation state. So these are two types of atomic or point defect: stoichiometric and non-stoichiometric. In case of stoichiometric, we have two types of defects, which is Schottky and Frankel. And in case of non-stoichiometric defect, again we have two types: metal excess and metal deficiency. Then a metal excess is again of two types. One is because of anion vacancy, the other is interstitial defect. Whether it is anion vacancy or it is interstitial defect, after the defect, the crystal is behaving as n-type semiconductor. And if we come to metal deficiency defect, then in case of metal deficiency defect, after the defect has taken place, the crystal starts behaving as p-type semiconductor, and metal excess defect is exclusively given by transition metals because they can show variable oxidation state. Now the third type of defect which is there is impurity defect. Impurity defect is, to the perfectly ordered crystal, we are going to add certain impurity. Suppose we are having, again we have this defect, this crystal where we have cations and anions A and B. So defect can be placed into this crystal by two ways. The first is, suppose the defect is C, or some atom C which is introduced into the crystal. Now this C can accommodate at two places. First is, it can be present, if it is a cationic impurity, it is present at the place of a cation, which is A. So this is a lattice, the defect or the impurity is coming on the lattice side. So A is replaced and C is here. So this is substitution is taking place. The second condition is, everything is perfect in the crystal, but this impurity, which is a cation, comes and enters into an interstitial site. So these are the two these are the two places where this defect or the impurity can enter into this crystal. It can be present at the lattice site or it is present at the interstitial site. So based on where the impurity, the atom of impurity comes in the crystal, we have two types of solids. One is substitutional solid, the other is interstitial solid. If this impurity is present at any lattice site, If it is a cation, of course it will be replaced by a cation. So if it is present at the lattice site, then the defect or the solid which is formed is a substitutional solid, and if it is present at the interstitial site, then the solid which is formed is an interstitial solid. Now, if the impurity is present, then we have two types of, again we have two types of defect are there. One is in covalent solids and second is ionic solids. So impurity present in covalent solid, how the defect is going to take place, and impurity if it is present in ionic solids, and how the defect is going to take place. So when the impurity is present in the solid, we have two types of solids can be formed after the impurity enters into the solid. One is substitutional, other is interstitial. The first is covalent solids. For example, if I take a crystal of silicon, so silicon crystal means these are the electrons, another silicon, the electrons are these, then we have this is showing the electrons, then the third layer, second layer, this is the arrangement of electrons. This is a covalent solid, arrangement in covalent solid. So we can draw one more layer of silicon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons. Here we have these two electrons. This is a perfectly ordered silicon crystal. Now what happens in covalent solids, as we have read how p-type and n-type semiconductors are formed. This is a 14th group element. To this, if I add an impurity of 15th group, suppose I add phosphorus into it. So what will happen? One of the silicon is replaced by phosphorus. Phosphorus belongs to 15th group, so it will have 5 electrons. So one more electron is going to increase. That is impurity defect in covalent solid. So what is an impurity? To the crystal of 14th group, I am adding an impurity of 15th group. An extra electron is present here. Now the second condition can be, to this perfectly ordered crystal of silicon, I add an impurity of 13th group, and that is aluminum. If I add an impurity of 13th group, then this is aluminum and a hole is created here because it is an impurity of 13th group. So if I am adding an impurity of 15th group, this is the crystal of 14th group. If I am adding an impurity of 15th group, for that is phosphorus, then after the addition of impurity, this crystal will start behaving as n-type semiconductor. And if I am adding an impurity of 13th group, which is aluminum, so a hole is created. In that case, it is going to behave as a p-type semiconductor. So this is impurities in covalent solid when we are, or impurity defect in covalent solids. The second is ionic solids. We take up the example of ionic solid. Ionic solid, suppose we take up the example of sodium chloride, Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus, then chloride ions, Na plus Cl minus, Na plus, and then we have sodium ions, chloride ions, sodium ions, chloride ions. I am drawing a perfectly ordered crystal first, chloride ions, sodium ions. So to this crystal, I add an impurity of strontium chloride. The valency of strontium chloride is +2 and the valency of sodium is plus. So as this strontium enters into this crystal of NaCl, 2 sodium ions will be removed. Why? Because we have to maintain the electrical neutrality. So this is one vacancy of sodium ion. On the other vacancy, strontium is present, where the valency of strontium is +2. So we have for the addition of 1 strontium ion, I am going to remove 2 sodium ions, because I do not want any charge on the crystal. Irrespective of any kind of defect, the crystal is always electrically neutral. So this is ionic impurity defect in ionic solids. Now here a hole is created, and because the hole is created, so after the defect, this crystal of NaCl will start behaving as a p-type semiconductor. So this is impurity defect. So we have 2 types of impurity defects. One is after the impurity has entered into the crystal, it can the solid which is formed can be a substitutional solid, or it can be an interstitial solid. If the impurity enters at the lattice site, it is a substitutional solid, and if the impurity enters into the interstitial site, it is an interstitial solids. And to explain impurity defect, we take up the example of covalent solid, and we take up the example of ionic solid. In covalent solid, suppose to the crystal of 14th group element like silicon, we add an impurity of 15th group. Then after the defect, it is going to function as a n-type semiconductor, and if we add an impurity of 13th group, it will function as a p-type semiconductor. And if we take up ionic solids, then this is the condition. Again, after the defect has taken place, it is going to function as a p-type semiconductor, because a hole is created. So these are all this is impurity defect. We have another type of defect, which is a line defect. Line defect, or there is a dislocation. So till now it was atomic or point defect. So what was happening? A cation is missing, an extra cation is there, or cation is present at the lattice site. So it was only about 1 cation or 2, 1 cation, 1 anion. But line defect means whole row or whole column is going to have a defect. So it is of 2 types, line defect, or it is also known as dislocation. It is of 2 types, edge defect and screw defect. So first I consider edge defect. So edge defect means, suppose this is the crystal. These are all constituent particles. So I am going to consider only 4. This is a perfectly ordered crystal. I have taken 4 columns and 5 rows. This is a perfectly ordered crystal. Now if this crystal has a line defect, what happens here is the scene is going to change. 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and same here. So what is happening is like this. This is an extra row. From 1 to 2, it is perfect. From the 3rd row, an extra row column has been added. This is a line defect. So this defect is going to move over the entire line. So therefore it is known as a line defect. Another, we have got a screw defect. Screw defect is also known as shear dislocation. By shear dislocation, shear means to cut something. So if we take a rubber and we cut it by a scissor and we stretch it, So what happens in screw defect is, it is also known as shear dislocation. Shear means to cut something. So if we take a rubber and we cut it from the edge, we are going to cut it and then we stretch it. So what happens? The bonds are not going to break, but they are going to stretch themselves. So a screw is created, a hoop will be created there. That is known as screw defect. It is because it is a shear dislocation. So it is because of cutting something. So these are the two types of line defect, screw defect and edge dislocation. We have another type of defect, and that is a plane defect. Plane defect means, suppose if we have two atoms and in a crystal they are arranged as ABC, ABC, ABC. So this is an actual arrangement and it is a perfect arrangement. So what happens here? What can happen in plane defect is ABC, then we have arrangement of B, and then we have the arrangement of A, then C, then A, B, C. So this is a defect. This position of A and B are changing. So this leads to a defect in the plane. So this is a type of plane defect. So if we sum up the imperfections, any kind of dislocation or any kind of disturbance in a definite arrangement of constituent particle leads to a defect in the crystal, and they are known as imperfections. Broadly, we have three types of defects. One is electronic, the other is atomic or point, and third is line defect, impurity defect. If we talk about electronic, that arises because of the temperature. When we change the temperature, the electrons, they gain energy, they move from their constituent particle, lattice point, and after movement from the lattice point they create a hole. So electrons, they move in one direction, holes, they move in another direction, which leads to the formation of a semiconductor, N and P type semiconductor. Now if we talk about atomic defect, we have two types of atomic defects, stoichiometric and non-stoichiometric. In case of stoichiometric, even after the defect, the ratio of cations and anions is going to remain same as prescribed by the chemical formula, and it is of two types, Schottkil and Frankel defect. In case of Schottkil and Frankel defect, after the defect has taken place, the crystals, they start behaving as P-type semiconductors. Now if we come to non-stoichiometric defect, after the defect, the ratio of cations and anions are not as prescribed by the chemical formula. That means after the defect, the ratio of cations and anion is going to change. They are of two types, metal excess and metal deficiency. Metal excess is again of two types, one by anion vacancy, the second is by interstitial defect. Then we have got impurity defect. So depending upon where the impurity is going to enter on the crystal, whether it is entering to the lattice site or it is entering to the interstitial site. Based on this, we will get two types of solids, substitutional solids and interstitial solids. Impurity defects are explained in covalent solids and ionic solids, and in case of covalent solids, we get N-type and P-type semiconductors, as we have read before also, and in case of impurity defect in ionic solids, we are going to get P-type of semiconductors. And then we have got line defect. Line defect is going to take place on the entire row or on the entire column, and line defects are of two types, edge defect and screw defect. And then we have got a plane defect. So in plane defect, the order of arrangement of the constituent particles is going to change. So this is all in imperfections in solids. Thank you.